Shouldn't tell them I got all this money.
No. So look. The thing is that I just want to talk to you. You've led an interesting life. You did economics at university. You failed pharmacy. You tried pharmacy. That wasn't for you.
Now, I might have passed. I passed 2 subjects and failed 2, so I failed a year. But I was doing music at the conservatorium. I was spending too much time on music at the same time.
And you always tell the story that you learned how to dissect the frog and that you got the rat.
No, I learned how to. Yeah, I got these frog. I was really good at dissecting the frog, and came to the exam and they had the bloody shark. And they had a shark, and you had to expose the 6th, 7th, and 9th cranial nerves, and I didn't know where the cranial nerves were. They learned the 6th, 7th, and 9th, you know, and so that was a failure there. And then of course you had these slides, and you had to look at these, run around in zoology and botany, look at these slides and tell them what it was.
Sure, you wouldn't have a fucking clue.
I wouldn't have a clue. Like, they never told you that's what they're going to do, and you thought, shit, what's this stuff? And so you know, like, it wasn't me. I've never been like scientific person. Economics I loved accounting. Well, I got an economics degree, but it's actually bachelor of commerce. Sure. But I did, because I've got accountancy qualifications. I chose to do a lot of. I did all the economics to qualify for bachelor economics, but I did extra subject, and one extra subject to get my accounting qualifications.
I see.
So that's why.
So tell me. Then you studied law for a while.
I got bored, and I thought I'd do law.
What year was this? You studied law.
75.
And how long did you do law studies for?
2 years.
How many subjects did you pass?
Well, I got exempted from the crap subjects, you know.
Oh.
So I did criminal law.
Yeah.
And I did introduction to laws about civil liberties and how the police were verbaling people and doing all the abuses about the police.
Yeah.
That was the first subject, the first year. I passed them. And then I had to do, next year, it was torts and contract. Now, contract I did very well because I'd done contract in accounting.
Sure.
But torts, I just couldn't get the grasp of it.
What's torts?
Negligence. You know, fencing dispute, like you know, your negligence. Yeah, the law of
car parking. That's torts, isn't it?
Well, torts is it's called law of negligence, which means like if you're an accountant and you give wrong advice, that's negligent.
Yeah.
You know, this sort of stuff. If you have a swimming pool and it breaks and it floods the next door neighbour, that's negligence.
I see.
You're supposed to take precautions that it doesn't flood the neighbour. So now that. I didn't mind it, but the blinky, well, it was a bad system. They didn't give you lecture notes on time. They gave you stacks and crap lecture notes, and it had nothing to do with what, you know. And the full-time students were going right ahead, and you were waiting for your lecture notes externally. You know, I was doing externally, and the contract guy let me go into tutorials, but the negligence guy wouldn't let me go to a tutorial. He said, well, you're external.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, so it was so hard, and I thought, well, why am I doing this? And I thought, why I'm doing this is to get more money. So I then applied to the merchant bank and got the extra money there. You know,
I thought you bought investment houses. That was your strategy.
No, I was already doing that. I was doing that all along.
So the question is, if you're interviewed by the police, what should you say or do? Have you been in trouble with the police?
Fortunately not.
Fortunately not. So what should you do if the police want to interview you?
Very simple. Keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut.
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything. You got the right to silence.
You got the right to silence. Now, you know, you were mentioning there's certain instances where you have to say things, you know, royal commissions and stuff, and maybe you get indemnities there or something, but basically, well, you get legal advice first to make sure that's the position. But if
would you trust what the police said to you if they said this is the law? This is it?
I'd like to say yes, but the answer is no. The police, unfortunately, you know, they've got a job to do and they need to get statistics and whatever. They don't do it with honesty. I know that some police officers might do it honestly, but a lot of them, they get hardened by these criminals. The criminals, they catch bad guys, and then they catch bad guys, and what happens? The judge lets them out. the courts let them out.
Sure.
So in the end, like one of my friends, he's died now. He'd say he testified in an African country because he got seconded from Scotland in England to this African country.
He was a great guy. I loved him.
He was the commissioner of police, but he was the guy that coached the commissioner of police.
Yes.
See?
He went to Papua New Guinea as well.
Yeah. Anyway, he was in this African country, and he was at the trial, and the judge commended him on his excellent police work and how he'd seen this guy burn a house down.
Sure.
And something like that. And anyway, he said to me, it's funny, because I got a commendation for the excellent police work, and when I saw him do that, I wasn't even in the country. He said, but he might have done that, but he did something else, so he needs to go to jail. And that was their attitude in the old days, the police force. They thought you were right. To stitch you up, they would falsify the evidence, and you go to jail because they thought you were right. Wrong. But in actual fact, some 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, you didn't do it. And there's a lot of cases that that's happened. So police, I think. Basically, we were taught when to school. First of all,
this is law school.
Not
primary school.
No, law school. Yeah,
law school.
At university. First of all, it's not very good if you're ethnic and can't speak in English.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good. You've got to be able to. They get all sorts of things happen to them, and if you're uneducated, poor, you got a problem. Yes. But basically, when police arrest you, you stay silent. You do not, and then I suppose if you're guilty, I suppose the answer is keep your mouth shut. Let them prove it.
Mm-hmm. And if you're innocent, keep your mouth shut as
if
well.
If you're innocent, well, keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, they'll make you guilty. And there's a whole, the police have got a very difficult job. I don't blame the police force in a sense. In the sense, they got a very difficult job. And if you didn't have police, it'd be shocking. If you didn't have police officers, and you didn't have those cunning police officers that catch anybody, we'd have a problem, wouldn't we? Because so people are scared of the police, so therefore they try to do the right thing. But at the same time, if it's you're the one that's being picked on, and you're just law-abiding citizen or an average person, well, you don't want to. You got to protect yourself, and you got to protect yourself by keeping your mouth shut, and don't say anything, and then, if appropriate, seek legal advice when needed. But you don't talk to the police. They'll use it against you. They'll say, "Oh, we'll just off the record," and then they'll say, "Here's the tape." This sort of stuff, and it's a bit more honest now. In the old days, what used to happen, and this is what they taught you at university, they would get you in a cell and say, what, did you steal petrol from the next neighbour's car? You'd say no. And they ask you a few times, no. Then they'll have a statement, right here, sign this. And the statement says, I stole petrol. And you say, I didn't say that. And the sergeant would say, hey, constable, you heard him say he stole petrol, didn't you? Yeah. So they'd sign a statement saying that you agree, you confessed, and now you're saying not. And then they'd say, listen, sign it. You say no. They say, listen, into the cell with a rubber hose. They'd beat you up.
Yeah, they taught you this in law school?
Yeah.
You're joking?
I couldn't believe it.
This is Queensland University?
Queensland University. When I was 1970... when I finished 74, 75, I did criminal law.
You said 75 to 76.
Yeah.
75.
Then,
Are you serious? They told you that?
That's right. And I thought, it can't be like that. The verbaling, taught you verbaling. How that's called verbaling. Sure. They taught you how they plant evidence and stitch you up and all that. And then I've talked to police officers since, and the permission of an inspector of police, and he puts all his assets in his wife's name. And I said, why did you do that? He said, well, because his friend, who was a inspector or something, got stitched up. He was very honest. So he's driving home. They stop him, search his car, find drugs in his car, which they planted, and that's the end of his super and everything.
I see.
See, that's what they can do to you. You just don't know.
At that high level?
At that high level.
Shit.
And now, if he's afraid, I mean, I talk to people like that, you know, and you think, wow, you know, I mean, he's scared and he's an inspector, and so you know, like.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Yeah,
he's an inspector.
He's retired now. Yeah.
And he's worried about that.
Yeah, and so the police. I mean, well, there must have been a fair number of bad police, and well, there were in Queensland particularly. There were a lot of bad police, and in New South Wales, I believe, they had a lot of bad police, and when they caught a few at the top, and then they started committing suicide, these police, because you lose your super. Right. So then the government said, I believe, that look, if you're a bad policeman, corrupt, resign, we'll leave you alone.
We'll leave you alone.
But if you stay and you're a crook, it's half the police force left, or quarter of the police force left. And then it became a bit more on it.
Chuck Fowler, remember that Chuck Fowler?
Yeah. You
remember that or not?
No, I don't. But
Chuck was the one who was caught on
taking the bribe. Yeah. And he said he wasn't. Yeah. And then they showed him, and he said, "Oh, yeah.
Chuck Fowler.
Yeah. So, but police, you know, the belief that the worst police force in Australia now is Western Australia.
Is that right?
But I don't know if that's a few years ago now I heard that. New South Wales got straightened up a little bit. Queensland got, you know, the Fitzgerald inquiry really cleaned them out. Well, they even brought Mr. Whittrod as Commissioner for Police here, and they stitched him up. He was a commissioner. Whitlock, he came from South Australia, and they planted drugs on him or something. Or
when was this?
Oh, many years ago.
Oh, this is pre when he. Yeah, okay.
After Fitzgerald.
Oh, after Fitzgerald. He got stitched up, you think?
Yeah. You did. Well, I don't know if he got. Well, anyway, he was. So the police. The police have always been bad in a sense, but it's a difficult job, and they're so frustrated by. So you know, the answer is that if you're questioned by police, you got to be careful. One lady who's a client of mine, she's in police, and she said she's in missing persons, and that's where they like the police, because when you say somebody's missing, the police are helping you. Yes. They're not trying to catch you. So, you know, you got a daughter that's missing, or a wife, or somebody's gone missing, unless you've killed them, you know, you're not helping them. But they actually then try and find them, and the police are helping you. And she reckons that's very satisfying, because you do all these checks, you know, you go through, do all the checks, they go through credit cards, they go through electronic stuff, emails and I think, and they try and track down people. And people are very... you're on the same side as the person. But normally, see, police have got a bad image. They catch you for speeding. That shouldn't be done by police. That should be done by some civilian people, because the police are supposed to gain the confidence of people. Because if something goes wrong and you get a policeman being attacked by people, the people are supposed to help the policeman. Yes. Not sort of turn the other way and walk away. You know, and because it's very important to have police, and I believe a lot of them are really. There must be, most of them are, hopefully. You know, it's like Catholic priests. Yeah, hopefully most of them are good. Most police are good, I hope. You know, and I hope most Catholic priests are good. But unfortunately, there's a big whack of not good priests or whatever, and so you got to be very. You got to protect your backside. You know, like trust nobody really. Trust yourself, and learn as much as you can about the law and whatever, and know that you've got the right to remain silent, and get some advice after that. So I want to get legal advice, and then the solicitor will tell you precisely what the position is. Yes, you can do it. What you have to do, and what you don't have to do. Yeah. And then
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, there's nothing to be gained by going to an interview, and you don't want to engage with them whatsoever. No. At least if you're charged, you get to see what they've got against you, what evidence they've got against you.
Well, they just say,
and then you can develop your defence. But if you go in willy-nilly to an interview, They don't have to tell you the truth. They can bluff you. They can
Yeah.
they can have a gut feel, and it could be as simple as that.
Well, when I went to uni, they used to. I don't know if it's probably changed a little bit now.
I'll just cut that for 1 minute.